Right, okay, short date and learn objective, please. Pause the video while you do that, okay? And then we'll get on with the main part of the lesson. Thank you. Right, let's have a little look. So here we've got a mixture of colored dots, okay? So there are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. So sorry, we're looking at ratios. Sorry, ratios. Let's have a little bit of an explanation about ratios. So there are 12 greens, okay? There are 12 greens, and there are 2, 4, 6, 8 orange. Okay, so orange, so that's the ratio there. For 12 green, there are 8 orange. Now we can use that as a ratio. Okay, we can simplify that. So that would also mean for every 6 green, there would be 4 orange. Okay, and then for every 3 green, there are 2 orange. Okay, so these are kind of a ratio. So that means, so for every 3 green, there are 2 orange. Let's see if that. So I'm going to rub out 3 green. 1, 2, 3. There are 2 orange. 2. Okay. If I keep doing that, I rub out 3 greens and 2 oranges. 1, 2, 3, 2 oranges, and I'm left with 3 greens for 2 oranges. And that's what a ratio is. It's almost a kind of way of sharing things out in one respect. But for every so much of one number, there's another. So say, for example, the ratio in a classroom could be there are 3 boys. What about this other ratio here? There are 3 boys for every 2 girls. Okay, so that meant if there were 6 boys in the classroom, there would be 4 girls. Okay, if there were 9 boys in the classroom, there would be 6 girls. So it's a ratio is the simplest 3 boys for every 2 girls. Okay, 3 boys for every 2 girls, and that is the ratio. Okay, and what we I know you have done ratio before, so I'll just try and have a little bit of a reminder about what it is. That's all. Right. Oops, excuse me. So let's look at just simplifying ratios first of all. So say, for example, I went to the I was in the car park the other day, and I seen 15 cars and 6 vans. So that would be the ratio. There were 15 and 6. But I can simplify that ratio downwards. Okay, I can simplify that ratio downwards. And I can do that by a little bit like a fraction. What goes into both 15 and 6? Well, 3. You can divide both by 3, can't you? So if I divide that by 3, divide that by 3, how many 3's in 15? 5. And then 2. So the ratio is for every 5 cars, there would be 2 vans. Okay, and from there, if I saw 10 cars, there would be 4. Okay, but the simplest form of that ratio, for every 5 cars, there were 2 vans. 5, 2. Okay, and actually in total there were 7 vehicles then, isn't it? Okay, and we go here, in total there's 21 vehicles, and we'll just look, we'll see why that is important later. So again, we can simplify. For example, in a room there were 20 adults for every 40 children. Okay, so we can simplify that, can't we? Our simplest form, we can divide both by 10 first of all. Becomes 2 to 4. So if I divide both by 10, I'm simplifying just like I would a fraction, isn't it? And then I can halve both here. So the fraction is 1 to 2. So for every 1 adult, there's 2 children. Okay, for every 1 adult, there's 2 children. And also, if I add this up at the end, you can see in total there were 60. There were 60 people there, weren't there? Okay, right. And we can do it with 3 numbers as well when we simplify. So we've got 5, 15, and 30. So we've got 3 numbers for every 5. For every 5 green beads, there were 15 yellow beads and 30 red beads. So what goes into both 55, 15, and 30? Of course, 5. So we divide by 5. We divide all of them by 5. That goes in once. Divide by 5 goes in 3 times, 5 goes into this 6. So that's the simplest simplifying a ratio. You're simplifying like you simplify a fraction. Okay, right, have a go at these, please. Okay, just three of them, that's all. Okay, just 3 questions on this part. Off we go. Pause the video while you're doing that, then press play. So let's have a little look. So again, if I'm simplifying this one, okay, what goes into both 15 and 5? Well, 5 does. So I'm going to divide both sides by 5. Okay, and then 5 goes into 15, 3 and 5. So that's my lowest form, okay? On this one, okay, let's halve it first of all. Let's halve it. So I know they're both even numbers, 2 and 9. Can I go again? 2 to 9 is the ratio. Okay, here I've got 6, 9, and 15. What goes into all of those? And I think 3 does, doesn't it? So I'm going to divide them all by 3. How many 3's in 6? 2. How many 3's in 3? 3. 3 times 3 is 9. How many 3's are in 15? 5, because 5 times 3 is 15. So I'm simplifying those ratios. So well done on those. Okay. Now moving on from simplifying ratios. Okay. And we will have a little look at this again next time. Don't worry. We can put a number into a ratio. So say, for example, let's look at these first. Okay. So say, for example, I wanted to share 20 sweets in a ratio of 1 to 3. So say, for example, these sweets belong to me, and I'm feeling very generous. And actually, I don't particularly like these sweets. So I'm going to share them in a ratio of 1 to 3. So every one that I have, I'm going to give 3 away to Marshall. Yeah, because he loves these sweets. So for every one that I eat, I'm going to give 3 away. So that's the ratio, 1 to 3. And you can see that underneath. They're mine. So if I have 4 sweets, I'll have 1. Marshall will have 3. Okay. So the ratio is 1 to 3. Okay. Now, and I've got a total of 20 sweets. So for every 2 I have, Marshall has 6. For every 3 I have, Marshall will have 9. For every 4 I have, Marshall will have 12. Now, I can't go any further because this is all my sweets. Okay, because I have 4. Oh no, it's not. Sorry. So I'll have 5. And Marshall will have 15. Okay, 15. So that means that's all the 20 sweets. So the ratio I've split it into, I get 5, he gets 15, and that's all 20 sweets, isn't it? All 20 sweets. And that's sort of how ratios work. Ratios for every one sweet I have, he gets 3. So in total, I would get 5, he would get 15. I'm just going to show you another way of doing this, okay? Rather than that long way. Now this is the key way, and really important we listen. Now so we've got here, and I will put me, and then Marshall, the MA, okay? And then I'm going to put the total here, and this is the key part, is to do your total. So if I have 1 and he has 3, and the total is 4, okay? Now look at here, the total amount of sweets that I've got is here, isn't it? I'm going to put that in my total column. Okay, I'm going to put that in the total column there. So how am I getting from here to here? Timesing by 5. So what do I have to do here? I have to times by 5 and times by 5. 1 times 5 is 5, so I would get 3. Marshall will get 15. And the total sweets is 20. Okay, the total sweets is 20. So we'll do another one of those. Okay, don't want to spend too long on this. Okay, because I know we've already spent a bit of time in class on other things. So the ratio is 1 to 5. 1 to 5. Okay, for every time Okay, for every time that for every one, let's go with vans and cars because I can't think of anything else. For every one van I see, okay, for every one van I see 5 cars. So the ratio is 1 to 5. Okay, I spend a lot of time looking at my window, looking at cars. Okay, so first thing I'm going to do is the total amount of vehicles is that. How many vehicles is that? 6. How many have I spotted altogether? This is my total here, isn't it? I'm sharing out. Sorry, let's be back in sweets here. What I'm talking about. So there's 36. Okay, and how am I getting from there to there? Timesing by 6. Okay, so times that by 6, times that by 6. So 1 times 6 is 6. 5 times 6 is 30. Okay, so there's 6 vans, 30 cars, in total 36, and there's my 36 there. Okay, right, let's have a look at this one now. Okay, I had £30 and I wanted to share this between my children. Okay, but one is older than the other one, so I wanted to give the older one a little bit more, so I'm going to share it in a ratio of 2 to 3. So there's the younger one and there's the older one. Okay, and I'm going to share into a ratio of 2 to 3. So the first thing I do is I'm going to add up my ratio, and it comes to 5. And how much money am I sharing? Well, I'm sharing £30. So how am I getting from the 5 to 30? 5 times 6. Okay, 5 times 6 is 30. So if I times both of these by 6, I'm expanding my ratio. So 2 times 6 is 12. 3 times 6 is 18. So the youngest one gets £12. The oldest child gets £18. And in total, I'm spending £30, because you can see how I've shared this this quantity, this money, into this ratio. Okay. Okay, and then £36. Okay, I went out for a meal. Obviously, this was before lockdown. I went out for a meal and with a friend and spent £36. But me and them, they had a dessert. I didn't have a dessert, so the ratio was 4. For every £4 that I spent, they spent £5. Okay, so I need to share this £36 between myself and them. How much it'll cost? Okay, so the first thing I do is my total, and that becomes 9. And the total money I'm going to have to pay is 36. How am I getting from the 9 to the 36? Timesing by 9, 18, 27, 36. 9, 18, 27, 36. Times by 4. Okay, so each one I'm timesing by 4, timesing by 4. So 4 times 4, 16. I'm going to pay £16. 5 times 4, they're going to pay £20. And in total the bill was £36. So I'm sharing £36 into a ratio of 4 to 5. Okay, one more, then it's over to you. Okay, so let's go with £80. Okay, so a grandmother wanted to share £80 between 3 of her grandchildren. Now, she didn't like one of them very much, so this it's not very nice, is it? So Dave only got a ratio of 1. Okay, and then Steve got 2, and then obviously the favorite, which was Leah, got a ratio of 5. So this is the ratio. For every £1 that Dave gets, Steve gets 2, and Leah gets £5. Doesn't seem very fair to me. So the first thing we do is the total of the ratio. So that total is 8. Okay. So the total is 8, and £80 is being shared between them. £80 is being shared between them. So how am I getting from the 8 to the 80? I'm timesing it by 10. Okay, so that means I have to times each one by 10. By 10, oops, by 10. So 1 times 10. So Dave gets £10. 2 times 10, Steve gets £20. And then Leah, 5 times 10 gets £50. Okay, so in total is £80 being given, isn't it? So that's how we share. That's how we share things out into a ratio. Right, let's have a look at this one. Have a go at these, please. Pause the video when you get a chance. Okay, pause that video, and then we'll go through them. Share each quantity into a ratio. Okay, pause the video. Do it as I've done it, please. You write at the ratio. I'll just give you a start. 5, 7, and do the total, and go from there. Remember, you put your total in, and then you get to 24 underneath is also your total. There's a starting point for you, okay, for that first one. Okay, pause the video, get that done, and we'll get going afterwards. Press play when you're done. So let's have a quick look. Okay, so I've started it there. So £24 shared in the ratio of 5 to 7. So you put your 5 and 7, you add it up to make 12. And you're sharing out 24. So you times it. How am I getting from 12 to 24? Timesing by 2. Times by 2. Times by 2. Now it's really important we show all these workings, okay? So we got 10. 7 times 2 is 14. 10 plus 14 is 24. It all works out, doesn't it? Okay, let's have a look at the next one. Okay, so again, our first step is to write our ratio. So £50 is shared in the ratio of 2 to 3, and then we're going to write our total equals 50. Equals 5, sorry. And the amount is being shared is £50. How am I getting from the 5 to the 50? Timesing by 10. Okay, so that means I times by 10. Times by 10, so I get 20, 30 equals 50. So this is my ratio. This is the shared out. So one person gets £20, one gets 30. Okay, and then the same into the last one. It's no different with 3 digits. The same rules apply. Okay, so I've got my ratio of 1, 4, and 5, and I total that up, and it comes to 10. And I'm sharing £60 out in that ratio, so I times that by 6. So that means I times them all by 6, isn't it? 1 times 6 is 6, 4 times 6 is 24, 5 times 6 is 30. Let's see if that works. 24 and 6 is 30, and 30 is 60. So that's it shared out in the ratio. Okay, if you've got time, have a go at the questions that I put on the portal. Okay, we will have a look at this again next lesson. Okay, good luck with that, everyone. Bye.